Los Angeles, 1947. You're a detective, and you just got demoted. The cases you work will probably be boring, but little do we know, this underwhelming desk gave us the front row seat to one of the biggest corruption schemes in gaming history. This is the story of the Suburban Redevelopment Fund. You see, the war's over, the American dream is back in business. And with all these young veterans returning, they need homes, jobs, and sustainability. Lucky for them, a group of upstanding businessmen have a brilliant plan.
In a great day for the future of Los Angeles, civic leaders and businessmen joined forces to launch the Suburban Redevelopment Fund.
10,000 new homes built just for them. Little do they know, written and produced by some of the biggest crooks, it's likely just a fairy tale. Leland Monroe, the smiling real estate tycoon. Curtis Benson, the vice president of an insurance company. And Harlan Fontaine, a psychiatrist who definitely cares about his patients.
Gentlemen, this is Dr. Harlan Fontaine.
They all work together closely, with the police chief, the DA, even the mayor. They also employed some of other associates, like a certain fella called Roy Earl.
Hey, Cole, let's get moving.
And who knows how many others in their payroll.
That's a hell of a payroll.
They all heard that Los Angeles will soon have their own freeway, with the budget of $3 billion at the time. They all want a piece of it.
Takes a long time to raise $3 billion.
Thus, Elysian Fields, led by Leland Monroe, bought strategically placed houses on the location of the soon-to-be-built freeway.
All being built in the path of the freeway?
What if the homeowners didn't want to sell? Well, they take matters into their own hands. Offered them a holiday they won't refuse, then accidentally burned their house while they're gone.
Family of four found dead in their beds. Heater explosion.
Another one.
With the acquired lands, they built homes with terrible materials, firewood for movie sets, low-quality cement, stuff that wouldn't even survive a strong breeze.
This thing looks like it was built on the cheap.
Then, they overinflate the property's value using their inside man in the insurance company.
You mind if I ask you a couple of questions?
Of course not.
They will then gladly, almost voluntarily, sell the land back to the government through eminent domain.
Not about insurance, it's about eminent domain.
It is when they will actually profit millions in 1947.
And pays the improved value of the land where the new house is sitting on.
The DA, the police chief, and even the mayor will intentionally overlook them while constantly giving them insider's knowledge. You might think, what's so scary about this operation? Well, first of all, they corrupted millions from billions of government's money in freeway funds in 1947. It is the equivalent of $42 billion on today's standards. You might recall, what if the reluctant homeowners don't go on holiday? Sadly, you know what happens.
Now.
It also involves the manipulation and exploitation of a mentally ill patient for their own profits, all in the name of a treatment.
I'd like you to come back to the clinic.
Also, the poor house structure will sooner or later harm veterans. So much for the best for the returning heroes.
Nice wiring job, fellas. Keep them in the dark.
They also did not hesitate to eliminate anyone, even fellow officers, who stood in their way. Some people say that they fear what they cannot control, so they controlled everything, started from the police department, other government officials, even the media.
Ray Gordon, editor of the Times. Doctor.
The SRF was also partially funded by drug money stolen from army surplus. Thanks to Courtney, and Mickey Cohen, the local gangster.
Looks like he's helping himself, Courtney. You're the fall guy.
Not to mention the implications of the drugs distributed throughout the streets and neighborhoods will affect the whole generation.
We have to cut that dope. It looks bad with people dying.
We have to get the rest of it.
There are more unsettling scenes that we might not include here, which does not directly connected to the SRF. Like Benson when he likes them young.
How old are you really?
Nearly 13.
She will only come back.
The individuals behind the SRF cannot wait until they get their hands on the money, feeling super intelligent and almost invincible. But just like the Tower of Babylon, the SRF is due to fall.
I think there's something dirty about Elysian Fields.
It all starts with a simple drug case. A bunch of military morphine was stolen from the SS Coleridge.
500,000 cigarettes loose on the streets of LA.
Familiar faces were involved.
Hey, Lieutenant.
But as Phelps digs deeper, he realized this isn't just about drugs.
How do you sleep at night?
The LAPD chief himself even interfered from investigating further.
Good to see you.
I'm conducting an investigation.
Upstairs in my office.
Suddenly, Phelps gets caught in an affair scandal, almost too convenient.
You'll be formally charged with adultery.
Phelps are now stuck investigating house fires, except these accidents look more systematic instead of random series of events.
Very unfortunate.
The burnt remains of the families attracted a lot of heat, no pun intended.
Monroe wasn't happy. People started dying and it attracted attention.
Just like a dried biscuit, cracks begin to show. The veterans are furious, the materials are garbage, and the fraud is too big to ignore.
How about Leland Monroe? The property developer?
Meanwhile, Jack Kelso started to get nosy and decided to stick around, only to find out the truth about the people behind the SRF. Thanks to Elsa's and Cole's curiosity and her late best friend Lou, who died by a tragic accident while working on the houses.
Investigator named Jack Kelso, and ask him to make some inquiries about Lou's case.
After surviving a hit, Kelso takes the fight straight back to Monroe's mansion.
All right, men, hold the perimeter. I got personal business with Mr. Leland Monroe.
Bullets flew. Monroe is shot in the leg.
Jack Kelso.
That's my opening negotiating position.
Fontaine, being uncanny and manipulative as always, decided to eliminate the ever idealistic medical student Courtney.
Be still, Courtney.
He also knocked out Elsa, only to be killed by his own creation of a monster, Ira Hogeboom, the figure we might be familiar with. The final showdown happened in the flooded tunnels of LA, where Phelps, Biggs, and Kelso were recovering Elsa, and they intended to put Ira at the witness stand.
I don't blame you, Lieutenant.
They soon got chased by platoons of corrupt LAPD officers.
You think he'll make it out of there alive?
I think he might.
Just when justice is within reach, Phelps did not survive. With Monroe and Fontaine out of the picture, the SRF is finally taken down. However, the existing corrupt individuals stayed in power. Only the DA got replaced thanks to Kelso's aid. Even Roy Earl delivered the funeral speech like he didn't just destroy Phelps' career.
Cole Phelps was the best kind of man. Hear, hear.
Easily thrown the blame at Monroe and Fontaine.
A detective who fought to expose the evil corruption of the murderous Dr. Fontaine and the rapacious property tycoon Leland Monroe.
The former members of the SRF seemingly got away with clean hands, and yet the smell of fraud still lingers. Noire is not just about the crime story. It tells the disturbing truth about one of the oldest tricks in the book. And all I can say, they did a pretty good job. Sadly, a different kind of war is still a war indeed. Hey, congratulations, you've made it to the end. If you like the similar types of content, please consider subscribing so you don't miss out on any of it. Thank you, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.